I wish someone told me about this build sooner because it is honestly one of the most disgusting combos I have seen in Destiny in a very long time. Thorn is a weapon I mostly disregarded for anything PvE wise because Striga existed, but with the poison damage on Striga being nerfed and hand cannons being majorly buffed, Thorn really impressed the hell out of me lately. Thorn is a kinetic exotic hand cannon firing at 140 rounds per minute with a base 9-round magazine, and quite the strong exotic perk, Mark of the Devourer. Hitting enemies will apply a poison dot, ticking every 0.5 seconds 4 times after a short 0.05 second delay. Also, getting a kill with Thorn or the poison damage will create a remnant. Getting near these will cause them to automatically home in towards you, wherein they will refill 4 shots of your mag, and even overflow it up to 40 rounds, and also grant a secondary perk, Soul Devourer. Devourer is active for 7 seconds on initial pickup, with further remnants extending it up to 11 seconds max, and also increasing the poison dot damage by 200%. If you have the Catalyst, you gain some minor base stat buffs with remnants giving even more of range, handling, and mobility. Simple enough, right? Thorn deals damage over time, and due to it being an exotic hand cannon, gains 40% more damage against red bars, and in just the past year has gotten 2 20% buffs, one specific to red bars and one for everything, alongside a huge 75% damage increase against orange bars. So yeah, Thorn puts out a lot of damage, but obviously there's a way to bolster this beyond belief. I wouldn't be making a video if there wasn't. Necrotic Grips is a warlock exotic arm piece whose exotic perk, Grasp of the Devourer, states that damaging combatants poisons them, dealing increasing damage over time. Defeating a poisoned combatant will spread the condition. This is kind of confusing and misleading though. What it actually allows you to do is melee enemies to poison them, but Thorn interacts so beautifully here because of that second sentence, where defeating a poisoned combatant will spread that condition. Now, getting kills with Thorn will spread its poison dot to all enemies within a 5-meter AoE. This makes Thorn into a really solid ad killer weapon as the poison damage ramping effect is taxied over by Necrotic, but there is one more thing we can add here that really breaks this build. Strand Warlock's aspect Mindspun Invocation allows you to consume your shackle grenades for a buff called Weaver's Trance. This will cause all of your weapon kills to detonate targets in a suspending explosion, which obviously deals damage and, as stated in the name, suspends enemies within a 5-meter radius, matching that of Necrotic. So let me get this straight. We're killing enemies with an immensely buffed hand cannon to then proc poison on all other enemies near them, and then suspend them so they can't do anything about it, and just die. Which happens to reproc all of this by itself, which causes another explosion and poison spread, essentially making it infinitely chaining in the right conditions. Build-wise, things are a bit complex, but I'm just trying to give y'all the best of the best. Starting with our subclass, Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Arcane Needle, and Shackle Grenade, obviously, paired with Mindspun and the Wanderer aspect. Wanderer causes tangles, thrown, or shot to detonate in a suspending explosion, which has some more synergies with our fragments. Thread of Warding gives us Woven Mail, which is fantastic survivability as long as we just pick up an Orb of Power. This will last for 10 seconds and give us a 45% damage resist to everything. And with the amount of orbs we make on this build, this is almost always active. Wisdom makes kills on suspended enemies give an orb. This does have a 7-second cooldown, but the synergies here are clear. Thread of Generation gives grenade regen on any damage dealt to enemies. Because of just the absurd amount of ticks we have going on here, I mean, think about it. Poison out on all enemies ticking every 0.5 seconds, the Suspend Explosion dealing its own damage, Unravel. This really helps with recharging our grenade before Weaver's Trance's 25-second duration has ended and allows us to just continuously reproc it. Thread of Continuity also makes our suspends go from 5 to 7 seconds on red bars and elites, while mini bosses go from 3 to 4. The actual mod setup is really just focused on maintaining this build. It's already immensely strong, so these things just bring it another level up and really help with super generation, which, have I said, is extremely fast. Genuinely, I was popping a super every minute and a half in Onslaught, and Needlestorm is no joke. On our helmet, Kinetic Siphon spawns a lot of orbs, as the poison damage spread here is considered originating from Thorn, so it will proc this, and Heavy Ammo Finder allows you to spam your choice of heavy, and Hands-On helps super regen on melee kills. On Necrotic, we run double impact induction, which gives 17% of our grenade back on melee hit with a 7-second cooldown. To generate more melees though, momentum transfer has a unique application here. The explosions from Weaver's Trance are counted as grenade damage as they originated from one, which means that every 7 seconds we get a free 12% towards them, and don't forget that as a 3 charge ability, the second needle charges 33% faster, and the third 100% faster. Run all 3 applicable resist mods on your chest, nothing else really matters here. On your boots, Kinetic Surge buffs Thorn and poison damage by 10% while you have an armor charge, and Innervation provides 10% more grenade energy on every single orb pickup, while Recuperation causes you to immediately gain 70 HP when you do the same thing, which is awfully good survivability. Double Outreach on the class item to recharge needles more often for both the Unravel and also the momentum transfer, and Time Dilation makes armor charge last 50% longer from 10 to 15 seconds. I don't necessarily have any hard recommendations for your energy and heavy, but you can't go wrong with Eremite for those heavier targets, and Apex Predator is like the best rocket in the game, I think. Amazingly, this build does not depend on a single artifact mod, so this will work always. Unless Bungie nerfs it, but I see that as a good thing because it only has the potential to get better with new artifact mods in the future and not worse. And there we go. That finishes off my first video on my second channel, which is going to be purely Destiny related. Warframe just hasn't been that fun for me to make videos on lately, so I thought I'd try this as I think my style of short yet concise content would work well here, and this build has honestly been super fun. If you're new here, please consider liking and subscribing. Who knows, maybe I'll become a Destiny YouTuber. Thank you so much for watching. Warframe video next, I promise. I'll see y'all later. Peace.